Are you tired of self-doubt holding you back? Have you ever wished you could have the confidence to face your fears, go after your wildest dreams, and the tools necessary to live your best life? Hey there, amazing listeners. I'm your host and author of How to Grasp Confidence and Own Your Power. And I've made it my mission to help you break free from self-doubt and embrace confidence. Subscribe now and join us as we unlock the secrets to unshakable self-assurance. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the show today. Today's topic is collaborating with confidence. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Keith Wright. Keith Wright is the founder and managing director at Wright Consultancy. He's based out of the United Kingdom, and when I think of somebody who is a great collaborator, communicator, and networker, I think of Keith. So Keith, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tara. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So collaborating with confidence. You and I met on LinkedIn. We hit it off instantly. You bought my book. And I remember you had a post that talked about collaborating. You said, stop and collaborate. And I think it was around the same time you were reading my book and noticed the part about collaboration over competition and how important that is. But you also went to a networking event and had a lot of success at that networking event because you had this open mind, collaborative approach, not a competitive one. So I do want to talk a little bit about that too, and your journey of collaborating and what it means for your success in your business.
That's a long opening question.
It is. I hope you were paying attention.
I mean, yeah, I think the networking bit's really interesting. I mean, I've been running this business now for 2.5 years. I was in a long corporate career prior to that, and I think when I stepped away into this amazing world that we operate, and live in now, where there's so much, we're at a point in history that there's never been more, great people on this planet, so much resources, there's funding, there's opportunities, and they're all out there. But unless you're curious and consistently make a point of being open-minded, and I say curious about the connections you have. I mean, I'm sure our meeting was from someone I met who met somebody else who introduced me. So you kind of go, look, you never know. You never know who you're going to bump into. And I think often the balance of course, it's a bit easier to show up on social media, but some of the live events I go to, the thing I know for sure is you'll never know who's in the room if you don't turn up. But if you turn up, you don't know who you're going to bump into. Even last week, I've met some interesting people that I've been chatting to today about opportunities. But because you're out there, it's like this gravitational pull towards you because you're out talking to people, and just be curious. So many amazing things you can learn by having that mindset, I think. And I'm only one person. The power of the network. In fact, someone on TikTok today just messaged me and went, "Oh, do you do finance in that property?" And I went, "No, but I've got 2 people in my network that do. I can make an introduction." So again, it's that power of showing up, being creative, putting things out there, and just being really open to all the great things that are out there.
That's an interesting point. I never had thought about that, but a lot of people come up to me all the time asking if I do one particular thing, and no, but I do know someone else who does. And the power of collaboration is so real. And we don't need to take on all things. We don't need to learn all things. What we do need to lean in are our strengths, things we're naturally gifted at and talented at, but then things that we aren't, and we know somebody else, guess what? We just helped grow their business, their reputation. We provided them a referral.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful, that exchange. It's truly the act of reciprocity, giving without expectation of anything in return. How powerful is that, right?
Oh, it's amazing. But it comes around. But I think like you don't do it for that. I love helping people. It's the thing, when I look back at sort of several things about my why, I've realized since a very early age, that power of solving problems, helping somebody else, just giving a bit. If you know the answer or have some connection, why wouldn't you share that? It takes like 2 minutes, but it can save somebody so much time and energy just by helping them move it along. And why wouldn't you want to pay that forward, to nick a phrase out of your book?
Absolutely, right? And there is no scarcity, right? So I think a collaborative mindset is a growth mindset. It's not a competitive one. It's a growth oriented one where you believe in abundance, that abundance is possible for anyone, that there is no scarcity, there's no true lack of resources if we can all share, right? And that's really powerful. I feel like a lot of people are moving into that mindset, but there's still a lot of folks out there that are kind of struggling, especially when it comes to content creation. I hear that a lot, Keith. How much value do I give? Right? How much do I share? And it's a balancing act sometimes, right? To figure that out. But honestly, when we share with the intention of helping another person, I promise you it'll come back to you.
Yeah. But it's that fear, isn't it? At the end of the day, I like to think that the things I do and how I interact when I'm working with clients, I think I've got something quite unique. Now, even if I share how to do it, they may go and do that themselves, or they may come back to me and go, "Oh, this is really good, but I really need some help." And at the end of the day, there is so much information out there. I've got my next post link about to go probably tomorrow morning, actually, where I've just learned some amazing stuff on TikTok today. I'm a bit of a TikTok late adopter, but every time I use it, I find some more insight. I'm like, "Oh, this is really interesting. I need to tell people that maybe don't know this, particularly in the sector that I work in." So that's something I'm going to share tomorrow. But for me, it's like you just got to share. The amount of people I talk to that say the more you share, the more people come back, and they want more. They're like, "God, this person knows lots about this sort of stuff. We need to come and have a conversation." But I've really unlocked the creativity side. I mean, I again go back to my childhood. I always loved drawing, writing, and being creative. I never realised that I'd perhaps lost my way a bit in that sense when I was so busy in corporate world. I know you've had a similar sort of experience of the corporate sort of ladder, but I think in the last couple of years of almost freeing the shackles of it's my business now, I want to get back to doing that. And you have ideas and be on the school run and think, "Oh, I want to write about that," and quickly get home to scribble some notes. But I think it's just brilliant. The more you can share, and there's always inspiration. I've picked up some great stuff from your multiple posts over the time that we've been connected. But you just have a little spark of inspiration sometimes, and it just it can save you potentially so much time just by being curious. And I think that again comes back to when you share and people share back, you can learn so much.
Absolutely. It's true collaboration, right? And it's that wanting someone else to succeed. And I do believe it's the golden rule, right? What I want for myself, I want for everybody. I don't just want it for myself. I think there's a lot to be said about, amassing riches for the sake of riches versus amassing riches to help other people. Right? Help build bridges for other people's successes. That's a true success, right? When we can elevate other folks to that position where they are able to give more. And that's when you're really creating that ripple effect. And it starts with that confidence that, we don't look at somebody else as a competition. We don't look at somebody else's strengths as a threat to us. We look at them as a compliment. And it's like the gears in a machine. And this would be how it would be like for a team or for your online social network, or if you're at an in-person event, right? Looking at other people as they are another gear that you need in a machine to
Mm.
really function optimally. That's kind of how I view it. What about you?
Yeah, I think there's always things that we're better at than others, and there's things we probably know we shouldn't really do, but we like them that we could outsource. But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, there are you'll never know all the answers, and equally you'll never be really good. I always sort of talk about being an expert in procurement, right? That doesn't mean saying I know everything about procurement. I'm not that arrogant, right? There's loads of stuff I still don't know, but I hopefully have experience and quite a deep knowledge of that space. But I always liken it. If I want to sell a house in the UK, you could probably do it yourself, but you probably want an estate agent and some people to help you on all the various things of that. If you're doing your accounts, you probably want an accountant because they'll probably save you some money. So, it's this kind of expertise. Where do you go to? I work in the building industry. Yeah, I'm terrible at DIY. I could probably paint a wall. It would be all right, but I wouldn't do an extension. I'd go and hire a builder. I wouldn't lay flooring because I'm not that competent. So it's this area of where do you dabble, but actually is that false economy? Because actually, if you hire an amateur, don't be surprised at the sort of result you're going to get. So I think that also comes true of the network. Is who are your go-to people that if you have a specific area of weakness, so to speak, like you said at the start, could you go and learn that? Possibly, but you can't learn everything in every sector, in every kind of industry. You've got to understand, and that's where the collaboration bit comes in. Who's the go-to? Who's got strength and expertise in an area that, one 20-minute phone call could save you months. And that's where that sort of reciprocal nature of the trade-off. I'm always happy. I don't think you've got to be careful you're not taken advantage of, but equally, if someone asks to help, 99 times out of 100, you're going to say yes.
Yeah.
The same person asks every week, you might start questioning how that relationship is.
That's right. Boundaries, right?
Yeah, boundaries, exactly that. Yeah.
But I love that. So, we've talked about digital networking, how we can, if somebody comes up to us and asks us a specific question, how we can refer others to them. The same would be in person. But we can also collaborate as businesses. So if we are an entrepreneur, let's say, maybe it's a strategically aligned partnership that we have, maybe it's somewhere where we can collaborate on a different level as well.
Mm.
How can you collaborate with your clients? How can you help elevate them? It's so important and interesting. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are on social media networks right now. They're on maybe LinkedIn. I think right now LinkedIn is surpassing 1 billion users worldwide, but they're afraid to network. They're afraid to connect. They're not really sure how.
Mm.
And I'm wondering, this, while it's natural for you and I, this networking thing, this connecting thing, what if someone is struggling? Because we've all been there. What if it's they know they need it to develop their business? Maybe they are an entrepreneur that's new, but this networking thing is really kicking their rear end. What do you think would be a good approach for somebody that is in that boat, Keith?
Yeah, I think you got to come from a place of, I think, genuine interest. I think this danger of I'm doing something because I want something back. It kind of, you can see it a mile off. I'm sure, like my inbox. And I don't mind it because business needs to be done. So LinkedIn is about B2B, right? So I don't mind people, politely and professionally asking if you want to buy something, but there's some you just read and think, oh, that's not very good. So I think it comes back to, follow some people that are interested. Who, if you take a business, and I look to businesses that do similar things in my space, who's, I don't know, 50 times better than you? Who's the go-to? Who's where you'd like to be in the next 3 to 5 years or even 10 years? Go and find those people and, start not stalking them. Don't be a weirdo, but, have a look at what they're doing. How are they posting? How are they interacting? Read their posts, comment on their posts. Send them a message and just say, really like what you did. I found these things really interesting. because actually that's genuine connectivity for me. And that's more likely to be sticky. People are more likely to go, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. So I think, just starting to be consistent, and actually consistency is the other thing. It's, I know you're a big believer in this, and you're like me in terms of pretty much every day, religiously posting on this stuff. And I think people like to see you show up consistently. I think if you're posting good content, commenting on others, interacting with people that are, you admire and respect in your field or in areas that you'd like to go into, then over time that makes a big difference. And I've done a lot of work in the last 18 months on my profile on LinkedIn, building the network. I'm still nowhere near your hedonistic state, Tara, in terms of your followers, but I'll get there. But that comes from hard work and consistency. You're doing it every day in, day out, being consistent, showing up, being in the right place. People will notice you, and that's a big thing, really big thing.
I love that. But that's excellent advice, and that's exactly what I did, because prior to March of 2022, I had a LinkedIn page, but it was more of a static resume, like so many people, right? I didn't have a community. I didn't have a network, but I knew as an entrepreneur that I would have to learn this whole LinkedIn thing. I would need to really start on and market myself, right? Yeah. And that's how I reached out to people initially. I reached out to them with curiosity. I started asking them questions, and I started putting my pieces of vision, what I had for the future, on paper, and really setting some clear goals, and then identifying people that were already hitting those marks, just like you said, golden advice. And then what I did I would send them a message. I would follow them, send them a message, and compliment them, because everyone loves compliments, Keith, right? Yeah. Compliment somebody on their journey of the amazing things that they're doing, and say something like, how did you get started?
Yeah, free advice.
Right. How did you get started in the industry? It looks like you're this amazing powerhouse. Congratulations. What made you get started? Or how long have you been doing this? Something like that. You just ask questions as if you're face to face in a normal in-person networking event, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's like when the way people converse, you wouldn't really talk to somebody like that in the real world. You wouldn't go up and say, hey, do you want to buy this? This, isn't it? It's like, come on, let's at least have a conversation before you punch me in the face with what you want to sell me.
Exactly. You would go up to someone and say, I love your blue shirt. It looks great. Where'd you get it? Yeah. Right? You start a conversation. And my mom always told me when I was growing up that a compliment is the best way to find a friend. Give someone else a compliment and then kind of find a common ground. But it works on LinkedIn. It works on networking and collaborating as well. Because how many people are just pitch slapped right off the gate, right? And it leaves that bad first impression. And honestly, it doesn't make you seem like you're a collaborator. It makes it seem like you're just looking for a transaction. And it feels very transactional. Whereas if you come off as a collaborative, with collaborative language, with that growth mindset, with coming with curiosity, then it seems like you're not there just to sell them something. And it's, you know what, it stands out. And it kind of separates your brand from the others, don't you think?
Yeah, it does, because it comes back to that piece of sincerity. I'm not just saying, it's like, I've stopped doing this, actually, and it's not to be rude, but someone said to me, the first line most people say is, how are you? They don't actually care. It's just the standard, hello, I don't know what to say, so I'm going to say, how are you? So I've stopped doing it. I've just kind of introduced and say something different, because it's, no one listens, and no one, superficial anyway, yeah, I'm all right, yeah, I'm okay, yeah, I'm not bad. It's like no one really thinks about the question. So yeah, I think that's it. It's being different, try and stand out in terms of the masses of things that are trying to grab everyone's attention. Because actually, if you're a bit different, it's not difficult to stand out in a good way. Don't be different in a weird way. Different in a positive way. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I'm definitely different, and I'm okay with that. But we're different through our authenticity, right? And you know, I would rather someone not like me for being who I am than someone like me for something I am not. One way you're yourself, you're free. The other way you're just wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, be unapologetic. You are who you are. And as we all know, not everyone will be your flavor or your cup of tea, as we say, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. You have to accept. But I think, as long as you're, in my world anyway, professional, polite, courteous, that's okay. You can say, look, that's great, but it's not for me. Okay, brilliant. I'll go and do something else. That's fine.
I love that. So standing out, stay remembered, just from sheer authenticity and approach, communicating people with confidence from a place of, again, reaching out with them with curiosity in mind. But that's exactly how you collaborate with people and how you network with people. And it may not be that one person that you're even seeking out to have that relationship with who ultimately changes your life. Just like what you said in the beginning, it could be the person that knows that person that even knows that person. And somehow you need to get to that person to find the person that's really going to impact your life or change your life, or you're going to impact theirs and change theirs.
Yeah, true.
We never know at any point in time. And I love this conversation because it's something I'm so passionate about. At any point in time, our lives could change. We are one post away from a completely different life. We could be one connection away, one opportunity away from a completely different life, for not just for ourselves, but for our families and the people that we have a chance to impact and communicate with. So, this power of just showing up authentically and sharing your voice with the world honestly can't be understated, because at any point in time, we just don't know who's watching, do we?
Yeah, the lurkers are out there, as we call them. Yeah, the amount of clients I've had that have never commented, never done any, just go, oh, I saw this and I was thinking about this thing and, can we have a conversation? You go, great, that's brilliant. And that's the power, isn't it? Showing up, because you just don't know. Right place, right time. Someone notices you. Yeah, you're on a podcast, you're printed an article, someone sees you, on Amazon, that's a bestseller again. Oh, come on. It's that stuff, isn't it? People see it and you're like, this is, that person's great. I want to work with them. And that's how do we notice people? It comes back to, what can you learn? What can you learn from people that stand out? What are they doing that you could learn from? When we all get sold to, but what resonates? What are the things that make you buy something, even though you perhaps didn't want to? What was it? And again, that's the curiosity, isn't it? Like, how can you stay tuned in to what's going on around you and learn those things? It's an element in my book, as you know, is hopefully going to be published next year. But the thing around kind of what do you notice? What stands out? We're obliterated with marketing messages. Adverts all over. TV. You're on social media. You can't even open YouTube without a bloody clip coming up in 10 seconds. But what you don't remember a lot, you flick off some, but some grab your attention. And again, what is it? What is it about those? What are those things that stand out, that resonates with you? What can you learn, again, to share that knowledge, share that insights, or hopefully do a better job in whatever world that you operate in?
I love that. It's so true. So many people on LinkedIn, on Facebook, bought my book, but I've never even talked to them. But they would send me a message after they bought the book with a picture of the book. And I never talked to this person before. Some were even second-degree connections. So the power of just sharing your message, sharing your story, showing up authentically, but showing up You've got to show up. You could be the absolute best at whatever it is that you do, but if no one knows you exist and they can't find you, then someone else is going to get that piece of business. Sometimes it's just a matter of staying at that top of mind awareness so that people know you are here and what you do. I think that's really important, that repetition.
Yeah.
So key and elemental, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you think in the real world, you go shopping on the high street and 4 stores are open and one's closed. You know, there's a strong chance that business isn't going to get any, or it isn't going to get any work. So, yeah, I talk to clients about the online space because it's in building materials, it's still a relatively low percentage, quite a traditional market. But I think if you're not there, you're definitely not going to get any sales. And if your customers are choosing to shop in a way that suits them, and you're not catering to their needs, well, they're going to go somewhere else. And that's the same sort of parody to what we're discussing. If you don't show up, you definitely won't get noticed. If you do show up, you might not know you're getting noticed, but I would tell you, you are definitely going to be noticed. It's funny the amount of people that say to me, actually, I've got a lot of friends in this industry operating, and say, I'm sick of seeing your face when I'm having my breakfast. I'll put up on LinkedIn. Someone commented me yesterday on my puzzles page. I had a brand shoot earlier in the year, and some of it like a bit more comedic sort of pictures. And I love your thinking face. It makes me laugh. I thought, well, there you go. You're getting noticed. It's very rare that I think, you see. So actually getting captured on camera is quite good.
I love it. No, I love your brand pictures. I think they look great. But that's, part of it too, showing up authentically, but making sure people know what you look like, right? So appearing on video, appearing with pictures, all of that is really important because that builds your credibility, builds your authenticity. People feel like they have more of a connection to you if they can see your eyes, right? If they can see your eye contact and make eye contact with you. But that repetition, just continually showing up and in different kinds of formats, posts that are typed, pictures or video, even better, short and long form, gives people an indication of what it's like to network with you, collaborate with you, work with you before they even reach out to you. How powerful is that? So at any point in time, our dream client or our dream networking prospect or whoever could be looking at this and saying, that's the person I want to work with.
Yeah, it's that thing of no like and trust, isn't it? It's why when you hear celebrities talk, it's like someone walks out going, "Oh, hi, John," and they've got no idea who this person is, but because they've seen them everywhere, you have this association with people because you think you get to know them. And you're absolutely right. I think back to investing in some of that professional photography. I was just using everybody else's stuff, and I thought, who wants to see me? But actually, when you realise, think, well, it is me. I'm the business, right? It's my business. So why wouldn't people want to see me in association with these things? And I think here's that repetition. It might be a bit of a jar. There's bloody Keith again when I'm having my Weetabix, but that's good. People are recognising that you're showing up consistently and hopefully sharing good stuff that people see. Yeah, it isn't just about growing my business; it's about growing the industry that I love. The building industry. It's about sharing things that I'm passionate about in the world of procurement. It's about sharing, things I've learned, in terms of various different things that I do. And like you said, hopefully people pick that up. And if it makes them even just 1% better, then why not? Why wouldn't you want to do that? It's great.
Exactly. I love that. I want to take some time as well because you're a big fan of the book.
I am.
I want to take some time to ask you, any favorite parts of How to Grasp Confidence and Own Your Power, or anything that that you have started to implement in your life based on the book? Anything like that, Keith?
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. I mean, a big compliment to you. And as I said, I've said this to you before, but seeing you go on this journey with it's amazing. Talk about manage your own PR and get out there. It's like you're trying to run for the presidency or something. Like in the future. Well, why not? But no, I think, I showed you this before, but this is the one I posted about. I don't know if you can quite see it, it's probably backwards, but my gratitude journal. And I did a TikTok on this, and then I went on LinkedIn with it. It had like 5,000 views on LinkedIn, and people commented. So I saw your LinkedIn. It was great. I love that you talked about this, with your kids or something. And that's probably the most powerful thing. And it's become a habit. I get excited when I want to write something. And I'm now up to 123 things in my gratitude journal. And it's just so powerful, because there's that mindset shift that you talk about, which is you find reasons to put positive things in there. And that just, of all the negativity out there, it's very easy, if you're that way inclined, to watch the news and just end up going to bed with the whole world's woes on your shoulders. But this is about finding things to be grateful for. And I've got little things like getting up and my daughter made me breakfast. And you think, oh, that's really cute. That's really thoughtful. What kind of thing to do? Or, going out for lunch with my wife, or just lots of things. Some business, some pleasure, just all sorts of things. Or just like I got caught in a rainstorm the other day walking the dogs, and I smiled because the biggest rainbow appeared. And I thought, I'm getting soaked, but I don't care, because look at that. It's amazing. So that's probably the most powerful thing. And I'm not going to lie. I thought at first, oh, this is a bit cheesy. This isn't me. This stuff doesn't work. But because I'm open-minded and curious, I gave it a go, and I got addicted to it. And it's like, this is brilliant. And there's loads in the book, but that's probably the biggest thing that's kind of stood out, I think, is sharing that sort of stuff. And I think when you get into that positive, I'm always pretty positive anyway, but you have your times, and you're an entrepreneur. You can have some days where you think, what am I doing? Is this actually working? But going back and reading some of this stuff and just taking a step back, you go, bloody hell, I'm surrounded by some lovely things every single day. It's then not difficult to capture those moments, particularly when you write it down, because we move at such pace in our lives that you forget some of those little moments. And that's when you go back, you get the feeling again, like, oh, I remember that. Or my daughter doing a little silly dance on TikTok and me giggling, watching her through the door. And you kind of write it down and go, oh, that was funny. That made me laugh. That's really sweet.
That's nice. And I think you said that you enjoyed the book because there was actionable tips at the end of every chapter, and actionable things that you could do at the end of every chapter. Yeah. And I've heard that feedback from a lot of people as well, that it's not just words. I want you to put it into action. And like you said, kind of make it a lifestyle change to where you're consciously, intentionally thinking about this stuff all the time.
Mm. Yeah.
Powerful. But Keith, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you for being as well a loyal follower of the book. I appreciate that. But if anybody needs to reach out to you, what is the best way they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, probably. I mean, LinkedIn's where I tend to frequent quite often. So obviously, Keith Wright, you'll find me on there. When I am on TikTok, is at the Procurement Expert, or the website. So www.kwrightconsultancy.co.uk. There's some links on there. There's some free stuff on there too, if you want to have a look at benchmarking your business in terms of procurement health. There's some free scorecards and stuff that gives you some simple little reports. So but probably any mix of those contact details. But no, it's been great. I think it's as I said, credit to you for the epitome of making things happen and reading, and you're very honest. Brutally honest at times. You think, wow, you've been through some tough times, but look at you now. And I'm hoping to be in Nottingham with our good friend Gary in January for your TED.
You've got to come see me on stage.
I'll have a big banner. Go, Tom.
I need some friends in the audience, right? So I don't pass out from.
We'll have a couple of good English pints lined up for you afterwards.
I've already started planning it in my head. I'm ready for you guys to take me to some good pubs while we're there. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure. And thank you for everyone who tuned into the show today. We will catch you on the next episode. Take care. And that's a wrap for this episode of Grasp Confidence. Thank you for joining me today and investing in yourself. Remember, building confidence is an ongoing journey, and each step you take brings you closer to the empowered, fearless version of yourself that you were born to be. Don't forget to visit my website, follow me on social media, and purchase my book, which is available on Amazon. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next episode. Stay confident.